What's up, Dragon Brood? So today I want to talk about the Cardsphere trading website. And before we get too far into this, I do want to say that they are a sponsor of my content now. However, I was already working on this video, so it's weird timing and coincidence, but I want that to be known up front before we move any further with this video. But for those of you that aren't familiar, what Cardsphere is, it's a site where you can basically take all the stuff you have sitting around magic-wise, put it on the site, and then people go looking for stuff, and it kind of automates all of the back and forth like finding of the cards. You don't have to manually find a trade partner anymore. You just put up what you're willing to trade it for, or the percentage of the price that you're willing to go based on the market price. When somebody else is willing to pay that, boom, they make a purchase, you send them the cards, you get credit. Well, you get cash, which is even better. But really, that's it. And all I want to do is kind of give you my first take going through the site, doing the walkthrough, and just kind of show you what the site's all about. So just cruising through and looking through the site here, when you first log in, you can see that they show you kind of the activity over the last week, which is very cool because then you can kind of get an idea for how active the site is if you've never been here before. And honestly, it's pretty active. If you look especially for cards that are under the $10 range, you're looking at like 12,000 trades a week or so that are going through the site. So it's very active, lots of people sending stuff. There is a little bit of activity on the upper end too. Another thing you'll notice here is if you look at the percentage of trades within each, I guess, bracket, we'll call it, you can see that as you go up the line, you get more for your more expensive cards, which makes total sense because in reality, that just likely means that there's less of the higher end cards available, so people have to pay more to get them. Where there's stuff that's more plentiful, they can pay less. Now, when you come in here to your halves page, as they call it, you can actually go in and add cards in of pretty much any language, any foil, non-foil, whatever, and really get particular. The other cool thing is they do have a feature for you loading in a full list. So if you have a CSV or a spreadsheet that you want to put in, you can totally do that as well and save yourself some time, which is pretty cool. But as an example, I just pulled some cards out here in front of me. So let's say I want to add a Cavern of Souls. So it brings up the different options. This one I have happens to be a Modern Masters 2017. It can be real particular as far as the condition. This one isn't absolute mint, so in those cases I'm just going to put it's slightly played, so it'll be 90% of the market price, which is fine by me. It's non-foil. We want it to be active because I still have it available for trade. And no particular tags. And the tags are cool because you can put stuff, say, for a particular deck type you may be trying to build. So you can put in, I don't know, let's say Cavern of Souls, I want to build a humans deck. So I'm going to put in a bunch of cards that are related to the humans deck. So maybe when I go and edit this later, I can shortcut it under their actions here, and I can sort by different things if I want to do large updates or not all at once. So it's pretty cool, honestly. Like here you can set status if you want to put a bunch of them to be active or non-active all at the same time. If you want to tag or untag stuff so you can search for it together. Say, again, like I just broke up a humans deck. I want to put all those cards from the humans deck in there. And then maybe I decide I want to play the deck again, so I want to take it off of my halves list or make them inactive. You know, you can go in, find everything under those tags, and do whatever action you want to do to them. So yeah, let's finish putting in that Cavern of Souls. I don't think I did that. All right. Got sidetracked. All right, so Cavern of Souls. Like I said, it brings it up, knows we're Modern Masters. We're going to call it slightly played. We're not going to worry about a tag here. And then it just adds it to the halves. So now if anybody on the site is looking for this particular card, it says that I have one at this price. That if they're looking for it, great. Then we can go in here and put in our wants. So let's say, let me think of a card I don't have that I maybe want. All right, let's say the new Vivian. Let's see. Oh, I guess new Vivian, is it in here yet? There we go, Monsters Advocate. It was further down. There's been a lot of Vivian name stuff. All right, so we go and select the sets that it's from because there's a couple of different ones. You know what? I'm going to try to get an alternate art version. Let's see if somebody has one available. Condition, I am fine with near mint or slightly played or even moderately played because I'm going to put it into a deck I don't care greatly. So I get to put in all the conditions I'm willing of accepting. I just want non-foil. I don't really play with foil, so I'm not going to worry about that. Do I want to pay 100% of the price? You know what? I'm comfortable paying 90% of the price. The card, personally, this is the fun part where you can customize, right? Like if it's a thing you think the price may come down on it at some point and you don't want to overspend, cool, you can pay like 75, 80, or in my case, like 90%. If you think it's a thing you're going to want for a long time, it's going to go into one of your favorite commander decks, then you can put 95 to 100, even 110 if you want to pay more than the going price to guarantee somebody will sell you one. So it sets my price limit here at $10.70. If somebody's looking to get rid of one, it will notify me. And I will add this to my wants. And again, I can tag it if I wanted to be a specific deck or whatever. If maybe I just want to label it Planeswalkers or something so I can find them all. So I have a very small list here. I've got Vivian, Adamri, Embercleave, and Stomping Ground. So if somebody has these particular cards, I will gladly pick them up if they show up, in the list. Now, then the fun thing is they have their sins tab. And this is where these tabs are where the majority of the activity happens. Your haves, your wants, and the sins. So what happens here is you'll come to this page, and anytime there are multiple people that have the cards you want or need, and or after something that you have, that all shows up here. So you'll get a thing that says, hey, the cards you have, this person wants. Would you like to send them to them? And you'll see all the people, and you get to pick who you want to send stuff to. And it may be this person wants 3 or 4 from your list. This person just wants 1 from your halves list. Okay, then you can make your decision on which one to send. And it's very cool in that way that you get to customize, kind of pick and choose. And maybe even over time, you've just had a good deal dealing with a particular person. You could send stuff to them every time you see their name pop up. There's a lot of cool little things this site gives you the option of that other sites don't, which is very cool. So in the event we wanted to go back in here and make a deal with somebody. So again, let's go to the sins page. Stuff that's people paying at least 50%. We'll bring that up again. All right. Say we wanted to sell this one because we want to get as much as we can for our Cavern of Souls, and this person's paying 80%. We would go in here. We could also, before we review the thing, you can also click on the person's name and just see how active they've been. They've sent 24 things. They've received 588 things. They obviously are a pretty reasonable user of this website. We can go through and see other stuff on their want list as well. So if they do have other things on their want list that I have, I could go through and go ahead and add more to the package because it makes it more worthwhile to me, right? I'm gonna have to pay the $4 or $5 to mail this package out anyway. But if I wanted to see what all we could take care of and we wanted to send more things, we could totally do that. So we can say, all right, what else are they buying? We go through here. They also have $117. The reason it's important to be able to see their balance here is that if I wanted to send more cards to them, I don't necessarily want to send beyond their balance. So I can go through and say, well, I have a Vindictive Lich, so that'd be another couple bucks. Fiery Inlet, I probably still have Islet. We have one of those. That's probably $7, so that's another $9. And Fabled Passage, I probably have another one of those. So we can go through, we would click all of the plus buttons, add those to the trade. For instance, let's see, what do we say here? Vindictive Lich. So I can add this to my halves, so that way it shows up as saying, hey, I also had this, and then you can just push those off in that order to the person and make one full thing. So it's a really cool deal, especially if you find somebody that's willing to pay more. And like here, if you notice, all of their stuff is set at mostly 75, 80%. There's a couple things at 70. They have a couple of things down here at 100. but generally they're going to be 75, 80%. So if I'm looking to get more value and I know this person's already paying that much for everything, then this could be somebody I want to send more stuff to. Now, I showed you how it works whenever you list the cards that you have and other people want to buy them. But what if you want to buy cards on the site? Simple. You just put in what you're looking for under your want list. That's it. You just put the price you're willing to pay. When somebody has it, as long as you have the funds in your account, you get a notification. They send the cards to you. It's really that simple. You don't even have to go looking anymore. Now, the cool part about it is it's the lowest fees you're going to find probably anywhere online for dealing with cards. So you don't have the TCGPlayer fees, you don't have the PayPal fees, you don't have the eBay fees. Like, it's literally 1%. And you don't pay anything, if you're buying or receiving, I guess, or selling, I should say. Anytime you're receiving the stuff, it'll be a 1% fee. They collect that on their end. And you can always put money into your account or not. So it's very, very cool. It's super cheap. If people just buy stuff from you, that's fine. You can get rid of cards to other people who need your stuff. Like, overall, it's very, very cool. And it's a way that you can, in a way, move some of your bulk at a reasonable price, or even just trade for other things that you need, really. It's a very unique system that there's not a lot of options out there for it. It's funny because I'd heard about them before, and I just recently started going through the site. And then they reached out and were like, hey, we want to sponsor your stuff. So I'm like, great, this is like the perfect time to do a video. But yeah, I'm not just saying that because they're now a sponsor. I mean, this is truly a really different website. And that's really neat. I mean, because we don't have anything like this that I've seen. I mean, there's been some other sites before that dealt in some funny money and you got credits or whatever. This doesn't even do that. Like, Cardsphere is strictly US dollars. So your money goes directly into your account. You don't have to worry about touching anything until you go to cash out. Otherwise, you can let the money just sit there, use it to buy and pick up stuff on the site. That's totally fine. But when you're ready, you just notify them, you take it out in PayPal, and you're done. That's literally it. Like, it's the cleanest system out there. Now, it does take a little bit of time to get acclimated. Learning their system a little bit, understanding how people find your cards and whatnot. That takes a little bit of time, but once you get past that, it's kind of smooth sailing, and it's all automated. So you just check in once a day or whatever and kind of see what the notifications are as far as who wants to get a hold of any of your stuff you have, or look around and say, hey, this person has what you need. This is the price range. Boom. Make a deal. It's really, really cool. I am super impressed with the site. I would recommend everybody give it a shot. If nothing else, just to sample it. Because truthfully, where else are you going to move a lot of your cards, right? Because you're going to get more on Cardsphere than you are moving them to a bulk buy list. And then, of course, there's some bulk, or maybe not even bulk, but stuff that's in that like 50 cents, $1 range that you're really not going to get much sending it to a vendor, but there's people actually looking for it. And a lot of times they'll take those kind of like building up a package of 4 or 5 things that they're going to get from you. So it's a good way to move a lot of that playable stuff that may otherwise just end up in a pile. And you'd be surprised. I think if you go through, build you a little list, load it all up at once, and just see what's the worst that happens. Anyway, like I said, give Cardsphere a look. I think it's really cool. It's different. It's unique. It's innovative. It's a very fun way to get rid of your cards and build value in your collection at the same time. And who knows, it could be another revenue stream for you if you get deep into it. But yeah, anyway, check it out. Links will be down below. You can go straight to the site, sign up for free. And I will also link to a video that further explains to you kind of some details about their website. That's all I have for you today. We'll see you next time.